eye-opening season where I started really learning about politics, really understanding what was going on in school. I pulled my son out of school. I started homeschooling him. We were just changing a lot once we started waking up to what was going on. So thank God he did bring me to changing everything with politics, because it's impacted so many areas of my life. But getting back to the reason why I'm here on the show, the Biden Bus Escort is what mainstream media called it when it went viral. Our plan was not to escort the bus out of Texas, but just to show our support for President Trump, really in the same capacity that the bus was. It had a giant Biden-Harris campaign sign on the side, and we had our Trump flags on our vehicles. So it's,
you guys are literally doing the same thing, except you don't have Trump in your vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely. And they didn't actually have Biden or Kamala in the bus. It was a former state senator, Wendy Davis, who had run for governor in years past and lost against Greg Abbott.
So you got a loser in the bus. That's all you've got in there is a loser.
At the time, we had no clue who was on the bus, and it didn't matter because we were just having fun, exercising free speech, driving down the road like we always did with our flags. There was no premeditated assault.
Premeditated assault? Is that one of the charges?
So there are no criminal charges. This is only civil, but it has been filed under the Ku Klux Klan law. So it's in federal court, and they allege that we, quote, banded together on a public highway to suppress minority voter rights.
Oh, my gosh.
And alleged that there's assault plans to run the bus off the road, which is completely insane. Y'all were joking about this earlier. Like, who in their right mind would put a vehicle into a bus and try to run it off the road? That bus weighs how many more tons than a car? And I do not care about politics that bad.
While it's being live streamed on like 1,000 cameras, yes, I'm going to do that on live TV and go to search and jail with my children in the car.
Yeah,
do you need an attorney? It sounds like I'm really good.
Oh my God. That's hilarious.
I think Brandy mentioned it earlier that they have almost 20 attorneys, and that's true. They have one of, if not the largest law firm in the world, multiple nonprofits funding this lawsuit, and then almost 20 attorneys. And I'm, like y'all said, a stay-at-home mom. My husband's a plumber. We had to cash out our 401k to retain an attorney, and we've been fundraising since then. So the $200,000 isn't actually a fine. That's the cost for us to defend ourselves in court against these malicious lies. And so we don't even know what they want, right? They haven't made it clear if they want money, on what they're looking for. We have some speculation that possibly they may be trying to get this law changed to where this is setting a precedent that essentially if somebody disagrees with the government, they can get sued under the Ku Klux Klan law.
No joke.
We certainly know that this is killing free speech, right? We know that they're actually the ones suppressing voter rights and suppressing the conservative party. And they have thoroughly scared many of our conservative friends who were with us that day or that we met in the Trump train that have been like, you know what, like, we love you and support you, but, like, we don't want to be seen with you because if they come after us?
Are they like, oh, go delete our photos, go delete my posts, like, don't post that picture of me, I don't want them to see me. Sort of like the Capitol. Delete that picture of me at the Capitol. Wow.
Yeah.
This is it's almost as catalytic as like the Capitol.
Yeah.
They took Trump supporters and then if they put this lawsuit down and say she did this, she's violent, it sets another false flag.
I love that it's violent to drive your car with flags on. It's violent. This is the deal, is they just don't want any evidence of what's really happening. Mm-hmm. They don't want their people to see the real evidence when you've got, I know we've had Trump trains here in Arizona of like 90 miles long, and it makes them squirm because it's evidence of that we're not alone. They can't stand it because they're trying to shut us down everywhere, news, social media. So if they can stop us from going out into rallies and stop us from driving our cars and stop, it's like we're all just supposed to go home and pretend none of this is happening, or you're a terrorist.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And it really does feel that way when after the fact we learned that there were only about 3 people on that bus, and they said that they were going to rallies around the state. And if you look back at pictures, there were maybe 3 or 4 people attending the rally where there were 3 or 4 people on the bus. It's kind of curious that the bus was driving through Texas at all if they were so concerned about encountering other opinions or Trump supporters in an area that had already been receiving national television coverage for their Trump trains, it almost feels like that's maybe what they were looking for.
Why do they need a bus if there's 3 people on there? Aren't they going green? What's that all about? Why do they need a big, giant bus for 3 people going to a rally with 6 people sitting in circles?
Well, no, here's how the rally went. One person would go up and speak, and the other 2 would stand in the audience and clap, and then they'd rotate. All right, your turn. And then the other 2 would come down and clap.
What I'm saying is, how is this the green initiative?
How is this the Democratic way?
Yeah.
Ah, that's a great point.
What about that?
Yeah.
Yes. And that bus, they were driving all over the road with it, swerving back and forth between lanes. We had the local police department responded to their calls for help and made a statement later that they found everything in order. But on video footage, we have that bus just swerving in and out of traffic at other Trump supporters. The white staffer car following the bus, with the bus, hit a vehicle in the Trump train. Mainstream media took that video footage and cut it down to only where the truck with the Trump flag was overcorrecting and holding his position in his lane, appeared to be hitting the white car instead of showing the full footage of the Biden staffer hitting the black truck.
But you have the full footage, right?
We absolutely do, and they know that. Yet they're still dragging us through this process because they get the publicity. They use that Ku Klux Klan term. They've completely slandered and defamed us forever. That's what people remember. It's the same law that Trump is getting sued under for January 6th. They brought our Biden bus incident up in impeachment trial. It's interesting how well organized they are and work together to really create this narrative that Trump supporters are racist, bigots. And like you said, they're completely spinning the truth of what happened.
It's kind of like a Kyle Rittenhouse thing, though. I can't wait for this to actually go into court and show the video. And then the video goes viral, and it makes them look ridiculous.
Oh, my gosh. And then you sue all the radio stations for calling you an insurrectionist. Okay, so we got to take
good news.
We got to take a break again. But, oh, my gosh, this is getting juicy because we both foresee an amazing outcome for you. We're already like, sue CNN and sue all the news networks and make sure you get that one truck that swerved to sue. And all right, so guys, go check us out at shessorightshow.com. Follow us on Instagram at She's So Right Show. We will take a break and we'll be right back.
Freedom Fighters, you're back listening to the She's So Right Show with Brandy Barclay and Lindsey Graham. And today we have a rascally little guest from Texas, JoeyLynn I want to say your last name right. Mesaros? JoeyLynn, are you there?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Okay,
she's in jail.
She's
already in jail.
She got arrested.
Oh, crap. If this were a live show, I wouldn't doubt it. If it were live, they'd be like, oh, she's talking about it. Go get her.
Go get her. So, we were talking about how you're being considered a terrorist. You are being sued by the government.
Being slandered.
And they have 20 government lawyers after you because you threw a red Trump hat on and decided to drive down the street by the Biden-Harris bus.
Not carrying Biden or Harris.
And just showing that you are the opposition. You weren't doing anything. You weren't touching anyone. Were you Mad Maxing? Like, were you running into their car with, like, daggers and stuff? No. Right?
I mean, speak now.
We were waving and smiling.
What's that?
We were waving and smiling.
Yeah.
And we
insurrectionists.
Have tons of pictures of this, but they say that we were brandishing weapons and yelling hate speech and trying to run the bus off the road, just flat out lies.
You know what? This is the thing. I love this. They were saying hate speech. Wah, wah. We need sound effects. Like, they were saying they don't like us, you guys. They don't like us.
So yeah, if you're being slandered, you've got to be being cancel cultured, yeah?
Oh yeah. At first it was just social media. Our posts were getting deleted, restricted, our accounts were getting canceled. That was really no big deal. When we learned about this lawsuit, we had to hear about it from a friend who saw it on CNN. We had not even gotten served. Mainstream media started talking about it because the people suing us have the press at their fingertips. So they released the press release 4 weeks before we even got served to even understand the capacity of this lawsuit. And from that, we have received so much hate mail. I'd say thousands of messages, death wishes, rape wishes, talking about how ugly my child is, that he could only be a product of incest, like just horrid attacks.
That's pretty nasty.
And that was new for me. I've learned from connecting with other patriots that are outspoken that that's a pretty common tactic of the left.
Demonic.
It was for me.
It's
yeah,
really
it is
sad.
demonic.
It's sad to say, but this stuff doesn't faze me. I'm like, yep, child's ugly. Oh, yeah, child's retarded. Yeah, sounds about right. This is what they say.
But it's demonic. It's next level filthy.
Yeah, it is.
It is filthy, and the things that they say and over, and they team up together. Like in the comment section of a social media post, they'll be like, "Let's all report this post and get her account shut down." And then they're all like, "They're crazy.
Let's get her." But yet you're the mob mentality.
Yeah, it is the mob mentality, and things like, "Oh, you care so much about free speech." Well, free speech isn't running a bus off the road. They really believe these mainstream media headlines are true.
Yeah.
We were never involved in an accident. We never ran the bus off the road. We never tried to run the bus off the road. They see one headline that heavily implies that or says Ku Klux Klan, and they're convinced we're part of a Klan, that we're white supremacists. Whoopi Goldberg and her group on The View said we were emboldened racist bigots crawling out from under our rocks. First, it'd be flying Trump flags next to the bus. Later, it would be burning crosses in people's front yards. And people genuinely believe we are the worst of the worst.
Oh, my gosh. This is unreal.
No, you know what?
You could sue Oprah Winfrey. She's worth a lot of money.
4 people believe it, and they have microphones.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is you've got the big mouths of the world. I don't even think they believe it. Mm-mm. It's just, let's crush them with narrative. They don't believe it. It's just a bully saying, how can we shut you up? We're talking about free speech, but we're talking about freedom in all ways, freedom to have an opinion, freedom to fly flag on my car, and just, opposition. Whatever happened to the protester being a part of America? It's only American if you're on the left.
Yeah, and guess what? Mm-hmm. This just made me realize too. Any Trump rally you go to, we can vouch for this. Anti-Trump people show up in black, Antifa, whoever they are, and just start chanting, racist, white.
There's like 4 of them. Literally. I think at the last rally, I saw one lady.
And she got arrested, yep. Uh-huh. But they come to you. I've spoken at a rally before and had Antifa marching in front of me, trying to distract me. That's worse than a car driving next to a bus down the freeway, and yet none of those people are being held accountable. It's the same concept, except theirs is worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've actually been assaulted at a peaceful protest downtown. I had somebody pull over and throw a drink, in my face, throw the cup at me, and drive off. I'm not suing anybody for that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Good girl.
And I'm not lying.
It's not a snowflake. Mm-hmm. My gosh. All right. Well, we got to take a break again. When we get back, we're going to hear how your journey is impacting your family and empowering your family, and maybe a little something about God's great power. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Tune in, listeners, if you want to hear some
God is good.
Jesus love.
All the time.
All right. You're listening to the She's So Right show. We will be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the She's So Right show. We've got JoeyLynn on the phone today. She's been telling us about how she and her family drove a truck down the freeway with a Trump flag, happened to be next to a Biden-Harris bus.
Just happened to be.
And now the government is suing her for all kinds of ridiculous things. She's fighting back.
And they have 20 lawyers. I wonder who's paying for those 20 lawyers.
Yeah. Oh, our taxes.
Yeah.
Totally.
We're paying 20 lawyers to sue. No, yeah. We're paying you as a Texan, you are paying 20 lawyers
to sue yourself.
To sue you.
And also the attorneys
a homeschooling mom and a plumber for driving their car by they were escorting Biden out.
Hold on.
I have a question. Were you escorting him out? Were you leading, did you have lights on, like a procession, like follow us? You're out of here?
Not at all. Not at all. We were driving down a road we pay taxes to drive on that they were also driving on.
Yeah, pretty much. That's, yeah. Hold on, though. Since I watch a lot of Law and Order, I feel like I'm pretty well versed in the legal
Lindsay's
system.
Lindsay's a lawyer.